average deaths, and I've already pointed it out. I mean, I'm not to be the bearer of bad news, but average deaths isn't always kind of something you want to be the highest at. You want to get as low as possible, so it shows that you are clean in your gameplay.
Unless you get good trades, which we have seen many teams do today, right?
Play Athena.
Well, unfortunately, that has been reworked. Will not happen again, ever. Now, let's take a look at the head-to-head. This one, I think, dictates how the success will come for each of these teams. Carl against Fei Shi. Obviously, it looks like Fei Shi has a higher objective secure at this point of time and deals a lot more damage. Better KDA, better kill participation. But stats are not the only marker of success. Let's see what else they can provide in today's best of 5.
Exactly. I mean, it's a 5-man, 5v5 game, right? So, yes, you may be one of the players with the highest stats, but how does it reflect against all your other teammates, right? Like, are they good enough to prop you up? Are those stats literally just you trying and sweating your hardest on stage, but still not actually getting the victories that you deserve? It's all going to be on show here for both of these two teams, because, I mean, they both had the punch to easy ticket, right? THQ, easy ticket, that's both of their wins. Both of their losses is against DMT, who obviously just had the easy ticket. There was THQ here as well. But yeah, that's where you start to see the difference between these two teams. The fact that Boom had a little bit more fire, a little bit more punch in them to get that 2-3 loss to DMT.
Yeah, but I think it's really more about the adaptability of the team, right? And at the same time, you know, the flexibility of their hero pool as well. This is something that I think will be a difference maker. We have seen Fei Shi come in against the other teams. He has played quite a few junglers so far. I like the performance. But at the same time, you know, this discussion I had with Miggy, it does not matter how well you do as an individual player. It's the better team that wins. And for now, at least based on stats-wise, I think Boom has better stats.
Boom does have better stats. I mean, historically against Kagendra as well, right? So they already have shown prior to this that they are able to take down the old Kagendra, but can they take down the new Kagendra? I think that's going to be again another variable within this matchup. Unfortunately for Boom, is they're going up against the unknown, right? They've beaten the old school, but can they deal with the new school?
Yeah, I mean, the new school, Fei Shi definitely, to me, has stepped up for the side of Kagendra over the past few days. And we already talked about just now, Saole as the clash laner for the side of Kagendra. This guy has been impressing on me since day number 1 of KIS4. So with that being said, the other factor that truly will come into play is in the roam. This comparison between Lu and Draw, because they like to play the super tanks and provide a lot of utility for their team. It could be the difference maker in this best of 5.
It could be. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of tank orientation into the support role, right? Like, there's not been many kind of like, other than the Dolia coming through, like, that seems to be the only difference within the support roles. Everyone's been playing the Zhang Fei, the Lapu Lapu, the Liam Po, and obviously Diadia for Wei Pip, and Motsu as well, sorry, for Nova Esports. But there's no seeming to be going for like the likes of the Sakir as well, like we used to see quite frequently, or even Yari. I mean, that's probably like what scratching like the bottom of the barrel there, but there seems to be much more emphasis on tanks. But let's look at Boom here. Boom, obviously he's supported by Migi, Danny, Carl in the jungle, Draw in the roam, and then Tatsuri into the mid lane.
Yeah, these 5 members, they have stayed together as the main 5 roster for the side of Boom Esports, and they have shown you the merits of why staying together as a team is important, right? You now know the ins and outs, the habits of your team members, but this time, the challenge is going to be quite different because they are not going to fight against the Kagendra of, oh, this is the new one, represented by Fei Shi in the jungle, Zan in the farm lane, Senko, of course, the number 1 in the mid, Saole now in the clash lane for the side of Kagendra, and Lu in the roam.
Exactly. This is going to be the new faces of Kagendra. Obviously, we normally see the likes of Weeraw, who is now substituted thanks to Fei Shi being part of the main roster here as well. Definitely kind of pulled a little bit of a different flavor, right? Like, he's definitely a player to keep your eyes on here. He knows what he's doing, but whether it's just kind of like the teething issues of being part of a new team could be potential downfall here for Kagendra.
Yeah, and let's talk about the support coming in from Jolo. I will not pronounce the last name here, but Go Fight Philippines, all-out support to PH teams, show them true strength diverse strategies and PH hard in every clash.
I'm going to conquer that one. That's Nacionales. Jolo
Alright.
Nacionales. Like
Laban
Malakas
Pilipinas.
Kuya.
Alright, I'm officially now part Filipino in that case. One half fulfilled by you.
Where's
Let's
your
talk about
adobo? Where's your adobo?
And the red side apparently now, because it's going to be Boom on the red side, and there will be the counter picks by a side, and we'll take a look at Reflect here for the side of Kagendra. Prior pick for Kagendra, IKL against BKL.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Boom over to the blue side and then Kag onto the red here is going to be seeing what they actually go for. But obviously, historically, from the past two series, the Dolia has been the prior blue pick, right? Like for the first match, and then denied for the rest of the games here. So, do Boom decide to go for it? Obviously, it's something that Draw does play. Do they decide to lock in, obviously, the Yang Xian for the likes of Carl in this game number one? But obviously, we know that Carl loves the Agudo as well, right? So maybe that might be a difference maker here.
Also the Lam, right? That was something that I thought was really cool. If I don't remember wrongly, Boom is one of the teams that use the Liu Bang Lam combination. So that's kind of scary, and I think they are one of the few that have tried the creative drafts. At the same time, this Yang Jian that definitely has shown up quite a bit. The Chado as well, another specialty for both the farm leaders on Kagendra as well as Boom. That would be something I'm pretty sure they're going to wrestle over.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen much Lubang today as well, right? Obviously, the delivery package that can be that, whether it's the likes of the Masashi, whether it's the Lam that gets to be the substitute jungler to be that kind of like carry into the back line for such a heavy taunt, heavy burst from that shield and magic damage coming through from Lubang. But we're going to get to VP now for game number one, between Boom and Kagendra. Obviously, Kagendra on blue side, here over onto the red side. So maybe the Dolia for Boom isn't going to be the case. Maybe it's going to be the Kagendra this time.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the minds of the coaches, right? So right now, on the left side of your screen, we have Coach Reflect, who has been with Kagendra since day number one. And we also have Coach Cien, who has also been a long-standing member of Boom Esports. So this is not their first bout. And I'm curious to see what kind of mind games they're going to play. Kagendra take out the Lung straight away.
I have to give props over to Coach CM, right? Like, when we was at KIC 2025, the staff didn't believe me that I was a caster, and he vouched for me, so I didn't get kicked out when SB19 got played. So, thank you very much, Coach CM. That's my little props to him. We have a bit of a connection there. So, hope to do good here for you guys over on Boom Esports. But let's look more at the bans here. Obviously, the Lung as well as the Haya, the Evernight Aspiration here being one of the prior bans for Kagendra. They don't want to play against it in that mid lane.
Oh, they actually opened up the Chicha for the start of Kagendra. And if there's one player I think you have to be concerned taking his hands on it, it has to be Saule here. But once again, this is a flex pick. The Chicha, or the Forge Maiden, can go into the jungle, the clash, or the farm.
Exactly. Keeps them guessing, but it means that Boom's able to kind of like situate some of these more solidified picks like the Yang Xian, like the Parasola here as well, right? So do Boom look to go towards the Dolia into the latter part of the draft, or is this baiting them, basically just like trying to bait the Dolia ban here for the side of Kagendra and maybe potentially open up something more? But Kagendra right now, they're looking at that pay, they're looking at that buyer, and so it looks like it's going to be Zan going onto the Forge Maiden here instead.
Okay, I like it a lot because at this point, the early game jungling speed is not going to be very fast for the Twilight, right? Pei, on the other hand, extremely fast. We've seen this in game number 7s last year, where, you know, the Yang just completely gets destroyed because you don't get that early game lead. Now, I'm curious whether Boom Esports, this Twilight, because of the way they could get drafted, might not even go in the jungle.
Yeah, it could potentially go up into Clash Lane, right? Like, that is still a potential here for them, especially not pairing it with the Dolia within those first two picks, right? Like, that's generally the go-to if you are locking in the Yang Xian. But Parasola being the first one, obviously trying to give Danny over one of his big picks here onto the side of Boom Esports. Now, obviously, both teams are focusing at that mid-hero pool. The Yuan, the Xiao Xiao, the Yi Xing here as well, the Boardmaster, and obviously the Yu-Gi-Oh being banned out, so they don't have that direct counter into the jungle.
Okay, I like this pick a lot. You know, Kagendra is definitely understanding that Boom Esports can definitely flex this Twilight into the Clash lane. And I'm curious to see what does Boom Esports decide here. They're going to go for more burst damage and longer reaching arms in the form of the Celestial Nuwa. Kagendra now have the option. What do you think is the best way to play this mid lane?
Ooh, maybe go for some control here. Obviously, they're looking for the Silk Weaver. Obviously, potentially, if there's going to be the dive there, or maybe even trying to get the pick up onto the likes of the Parasolar. But ultimately, what they're going to try and do is try and pull their front line, into a fight that they know they're fighting on their terms on the side of Kagendra, right?
Intertwined by fate.
Yeah, for sure. They